Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't really impressed with my explanation of the calendar, so I'm going to redo it here. Yesterday was the first time that I was speaking, um, yesterday morning, so I wasn't really warmed up, but I'm warmed up on that. Then I did good on the obedience and acts and bringing that together, but I was not impressed with my explanation of the calendar, and so I want to redo it right here. Okay, so I'm going to stop my camera and I'm going to bring on. I'm going to share my screen. Wait, hold on. Let me get it up. Okay. So we start with calculating the first day of the year. And that starts after the equinox. You're looking for the new moon, the dark moon, and then you're going to look for the sliver. Okay. I subscribe to the sliver rather than the full dark moon. And the reason is because we know that the full dark moon is the ending cycle for that moon. Okay. So we have a waxing, which you start to show more of the moon, and then you get to a full moon, and then you have a waning, which is showing less of the moon all the way to dark. And so we know that that is a full moon cycle. So your first day wouldn't start on that last day, that ending day. And I got convicted about it, researching about it and why people use the sliver because I was using the dark moon. And you'll see that last year I calculated for the sliver and without, and the year before I did from the dark moon. And so you can see that in files in my group Hebrew Israelite Information Exchange. So, but this year I'm just fully committed to the sliver because it actually makes everything work out the way it's supposed to. Okay. So the dark moon happened on the 24th at the sighting of the moon. On the 25th, you should be able to see the sliver. And so that would be New Year's Eve. And then the next day, March 26th, would be the day portion of the New Year's. Okay. Now, of course, we know when it's coming. We have, better technology and stuff like that. But when you think about it, they had to see it. And so, therefore, you couldn't just say, I know it's coming that day, so this is day one. You have to see it first, and then the next day would be day one. Okay, which also fueled my belief in that the day starts at evening. It starts at evening because you have to look at the moon in the evening to even say it's a day one. Okay, so but the day portion does start at sunrise. So, but the 24-hour cycle starts in the evening. Okay. So then 14 days later, you count 14 days from your first day. And I only counted, the day portions. That kind of just helped me to count how many days it needs to be. Okay. And so that got me to April 8th right here. And it's brought in the evening of April 7th. Okay. Then the day portion of the 8th is a prep day, business as usual. And then by that evening, you're bringing in unleavened bread, which the first day of unleavened bread is April 9th. The evening is the evening of April 8th. Okay. You count 7 days, starting day one at April 9th. Okay. And you'll get to April 15th. Okay. First fruits happens the Sabbath during unleavened bread. Now we know this. Now, some people say it's the day after the high Shabbat, but that doesn't really make sense to me because you're counting 7 Sabbaths. So, you know, so we start at the weekly Shabbat of unleavened bread, and we count 7 Sabbaths to get us to Pentecost, which is May 31st. That's the day portion. It's born in the eve of May 30th. So there was a few things that I did to check myself. Was April 7th, the evening of April 7th, a full moon? Now, in I believe it's Psalm 81:3, it says, "Blow the shofar on our solemn assembly," something like that. Wait, let me get it. And so we kind of like had a debate about this. There's an 81:3. Hold on. And then I found an article that explained the language a little bit better. So sound the shofar or sound the ram's horn at the new moon, at the full moon on the day of our feast. That's the Berean Study Bible. The ESV says, blow the trumpet at the new moon, at the full moon on our feast day. So the new moon is the first of the month. This is why people have new moon parties. And then at the full moon, most of the feasts are going to end up on a full moon, except for the ones that land on the first of the month. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be a full moon. Actually, April 7th, that evening is a full moon. It will be a pink moon, which is, in spirit world, I'm not going to say biblical, but spirit world is for renewal and rebirth. Okay. All right. So then I checked another thing. Do we get 3 days and 3 nights? Between then and first fruits, right? And we actually do. If we count the evening of, well, going into unleavened bread, because we know on the prep day, that's when he was tried, crucified, and then buried that evening. So let's count it. The evening of April 8th, 1. The evening of April 9th, 2. The evening of April 10th, 3. That's 3 nights. Let's count the days. The day of April 9th, 1. The day of April 10th, 2. The day of April 11th, 3. That's 3 days. Right after that day is finished, that intermediate time, I forgot it's a name for it, that's when Christ arises. Before it's dark, so it's not counting another night. So 3 days and 3 nights, just like the Messiah said. And so it worked out perfectly. So then I did first days of the month, and I did it based on the day, not the evening portion. So this should actually be like 25, the evening of the 25th, the day of the 26th. But I know that because I had wrote a note. The first day of the month in fall feasts are brought in the night before. Only the day portion is accounted for in the secular dates. Okay. So just like we brought New Year's in on the evening of the 25th, the day portion was the 26th, the day portion 24th, 23rd, 22, and it goes on and on and on. And then we get to the 7th month, and this is where we have our fall feast right here. And then we keep on going. And I keep on going because I want to see if the year is a 12-month year or a 13-month year, because you would have a second Adar if it was a 13-month year. So fall feast, you have trumpets, which is October 18th. See the matching dates, October 18th. Atonement, the 27th. And I think you're counting 10 days from there. And then Tabernacles, November 1st. That is the first day of Tabernacles, because we know Tabernacles is 7 days, and then you have an 8th day, and that 8th day is November 8th. So that's the calendar. Again, you're going to start from the spring equinox. You're going to find the new moon and then see where the sliver comes up. The sliver that evening will be your your first evening, and then the day portion your first day. Okay. And then you just go from there and you keep on calculating it. It does work out to be a mathematical calculation. I think I just added two onto every it's two or one. I actually counted out the days. Um, but you can do it mathematically, or you could just use the written out days where it tells you where the new moon is, and then add 2 days to it, and then it usually works out. Yeah, that's what I did. I didn't just add two as I went along. I added two to the new moon date because that will be when the sliver would show. So, any questions? Anything? Let me know. Everybody should be calculating the fees. You learn so much. Every time I do it, I learn so much more. And you won't be able to call people or get on the internet or anything. So you should have somewhere about of how to mark time. The sun doesn't change, you know, at all. So you're not going to be able to do it by the sun. You're going to have to be doing it by the moon, and you should know where we are in the waxing and waning of the moon. Okay, it is not worship. Like some people try to twist it to be. It's not worshiping the moon. It's using it for what the Most High said it would be used for, which is for signs and signs. And I can't remember the other thing right now. Signs and wonders, right? So we need to be paying attention to the sky. I know for me, my daughter, I always make her aware that the moon is out. And now she herself goes, Mommy, the moon, So, yeah. And you're supposed to blow the shofar on the first day of each month, which is why I have the days of the month, and also to show how we get to our seventh month. And on every holy day that we celebrate. So that's easier said than done, and you have to have trumpet lips for that. Yeah. So with that, I just wanted to I'm trying to get back to string out. With that, I just wanted to go over how I come up with the calculator, the things, the revelations that I've had while doing it, and the importance of doing so for every believer. Even if your family, one person do one, and then the other one do one, and then you start to compare dates, and then perhaps you can see where you were wrong or where they were wrong, and the more you do it, the easier it is. Because I know, like, once I got my mind right about the first day and where it started, it only took me about 30 to 40 minutes to finish the whole rest of the calendar. So with that, say shalom. You guys have a great day and be productive.